Hi guys, if it's Tuesday, it's Down and Dirty Woodscraft. Stay with me. Okay guys, today's a little tip or trick. Now, as many of you know, and I've mentioned in my living history days, we used to do living history reenactment where I started in the 1840 time period and I ended up in the 1740 time period. And quite often my group that I was part of, the Alabama Red Wolves, we would go and not only camp out at these big gatherings that could be up to 50,000 people at it. Sometimes it was 8, 10, 12, numerous thousands of people. The biggest was the Eastern Rendezvous, and it was up to 50,000 people camping there for 10 to 14 days. But we also went around and we did displays at schools and things like that. We did history events for the school children, and sometimes we'd be asked to come in and do something at a family gathering or a wedding or whatever. Okay? Well, you're about to be asked to get up in front of a large group with cameras, and you're going to need to start a flint and steel fire. What insurance are you going to take ahead of time to make sure you're not going to have a problem? Well, you're going to check your flint, make sure it's good and sharp. You're going to check your steel, make sure it's throwing good sparks. And then you're going to have your tinder already made up. Whatever tinder it is that you're wanting to use. In my case, I'd like shaved cedar bark mixed with a little bit of thistledown into it, like this. Sometimes I'll also get that perfect bunch of pine straw that's ground up really fine. I'd mix in with it, but I would make my tinder. And even then, sometimes when I'd get up there to do it, and you're taking a piece of char cloth and you'd get the spark in it, go to glow, and you'd blow and blow, and it just wouldn't catch. Because I'm down here in the south and we're around a lot of high humidity. And for whatever reason, the transition from spark to ignition just didn't want to happen. And so you would blow and blow and burn up pieces of char cloth after piece of char cloth, and it would smoke. It'd smoke great. It just would never make the transition to flame. Well, it doesn't do good when you're in the middle of the public eye that way. It's okay when we're doing it for us, but when you're doing it for a display on the public. And then there was this old salt of the plains. His name is Francis McGowan, but we call him Grouch. That's his rendezvous name. And Grouch pulled me aside one day and said, "Blackie, you're working too hard for this. Let me give you some of my tinder and you try it." Well, he had almost the same exact stuff. So I got up in front of this group of school kids, and I took it and I fluffed it out and got it ready, and I put my piece of char cloth in the middle of it, and I struck, and as I'm picking it up, it went to flame by itself. It caught and it went. And it was like, wow, So later I asked him, "Are you drying it in the oven or what?" He said, "No, I'm treating my tinder bundle, my bird's nest, ahead of the time for this type of event." Treating it? Yeah, treat it. What are you treating it with? Well, you take a piece of newspaper and you lay it out. You take your naturally gathered tinder and you tear it out, spread it out pretty good size on it, and then you take your treatment, Aqua Net hairspray, and you spray it down. Give it 20 minutes to dry, mix it all back up, spray it down again. Give it 10 or 15 minutes to dry, mix it back up, spray it down again. The transition between spark and flame is a whole lot easier when there's an accelerant on it. And hairspray, not necessarily just Aqua Net, but I always use Aqua Net back in the day. They may have changed formula. I haven't tried this out, guys. But hairspray was actually flammable. And so I would treat my tinder bundle with it. Now, I know there are those right now crying foul. "Oh, Blackie, hold up." Now, wait a minute, guys. We carry hunks of fat wood. We carry a wet fire cube. We carry burn no matter what matches. We carry a lighter. We carry all these things. If the object of the game is to start a fire, you're not cheating. You're preparing. Now, how about those infernos that the Pathfinder School carried? All that is a pad that's been treated and then dipped in wax so that when you tear it up, it burns really well. How's that any different than making your tinder treated? So when I go and I gather up a big bag, and it's time for me to go gather more of this shaved cedar bark on a good dry day and fill this bag up, and when I find me a couple of them big dried thistle heads, I'll harvest them as well. And then I'll combine them together in this. Spread it out on a piece of paper, spray it down with a little Aquanet, mix it up, because that'll make this much easier to ignite, to make that transition from spark over to flame. So when I'm just using a ferro rod and I'm generating a couple 1,000-degree spark, I want it to very quickly escalate because I'm in high humidity conditions. And so there's a good chance that the air is just so humid, it doesn't want a spark. You know, it tries to make the transition, but it's sucking the heat away so fast because of the humidity, it doesn't want to go. That's when you got to pull out a lighter. Just hold it on it and get it going. So therefore, my little tip for the day is to try that out. Try taking your tinder, try it out with some of your wife's hairspray. Set that to the side, let it dry thoroughly, and then tomorrow do a side-by-side test where you light this one and then light the one that's treated and see which one's easier to light. Hope this gives you some ideas, guys. Please leave any questions or comments below. Until next time, I'm Blackie for Shaman's Forge. Wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.